Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and this is where it happened. So this is outside my garage, and this is a 220 volt plug I put in to charge EVs. So I had the GMC Hummer last week, and I had a mobile charging unit from General Motors itself, GMC mobile charging unit. What this has is a plug that goes into my plug, then a mobile unit charger, which is a big piece of inverter basically, as far as I can tell what it is, and that cord goes down, connects, and goes into a kind of a gun-shaped object that plugs into the truck. That's what I can say it. I'll explain more on a video I'm going to show you on the screen here in a minute. But I came out, and it said it was about 2 degrees, and it said the truck is not charging. It has failed to charge. Please find a level 2 charger. And I had it hooked up. I had the plug hooked up to the mobile charging unit, plugged in the truck. I had not unplugged it all night. It was charging overnight. It stopped charging at some point. And so what we think happened is that the charging unit itself froze. So I'm going to show you some video on the screen showing my freak out moment when it's not charging. A couple things you got to keep in mind. Number one, I screwed up a camera setting on that video, so sorry a little bit jerkiness. Number two, I was going to shoot a different video that day, so this threw me a gigantic curveball. And number three, they were picking up that GMC Hummer later on that day, and per my agreement with the local press fleet that comes from Denver, I try to get these things as charged as I can before they pick them up, so they get back to Denver without range anxiety. So it created a lot of anxiety in me when it didn't charge correctly. So let's go and play that video, and I'll come back at the end. I'll tell you what GMC had to say about the charger, and kind of give my tips to avoid this happening to you if you're buying an EV in the future. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. I came out this morning, and it was 2 degrees out. I don't know why I came out, but I came out actually do a video on regenerative braking, and I found some interesting stuff going on the truck. So I want to talk about a couple things in the summer when it's cold. So it's interesting, when I turn it on, it says charge cord connected. Okay. Dismiss. Ice possible. Dismiss. Okay. Earlier it said unable to charge. Please see charging station. You can see my charge has gone down and the vehicle is still charged in. So that's interesting. Another thing that's interesting, I've talked about this many times, is that EVs heat up faster than other vehicles. In this case, we have a heat pump. I have it on auto. I'm already getting airflow coming out, and it's been going on a minute now. I've been talking on the camera, but you can see it firing up, and I'm going to turn on the max on the top. Yeah, I already have warm air coming out, so you can still see my breath. But we'll see. Let's see how fast this takes to clear off, and let's check my charging cable and see what's going on with that. Because again, it says -3 currently outside. So we've heard about this. I watched some videos yesterday on this, in that in the wintertime, there's a lot of winter range loss when it comes to EVs. In this case, yeah, I have a fairly frozen plug situation here. So I'm going to guess that's what it is. And we'll see if it warms up. I may have to pull this in my garage, because I may need it to be warm. It says charge cord connected, but it's not actively charging. So that's interesting. Anyways, let me just unplug it for now, because I'm going to go do this regenerative braking test and see how it does on snow and icy conditions. So close the door and close this door too. So coming out. All right, let's go back in the truck and see how we're doing. Oh, well, I guess I could go to the front here and take a look too. Yeah, you can hear that whine, and that's the heater going. We've had interesting conversations with this too. People have been talking about EVs with lighting, and in the wintertime, because there's LED lights, they don't have any heat to them, so they're actually not breaking off this ice on top of the headlamp. So people have been having some issues as far as being able to see in the wintertime, because this isn't clearing up because LED. Interesting. So we're going. And it is, like I said, it is freezing out here. Let's hop in. What we got? Okay. Inside the truck. So, yeah, starting to get hot air now. So it's been on for a while. It's making a fool out of me. Darn truck's making a fool out of me, I'm telling you. It was blowing hot air the other day, but again, apparently it's just too cold. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to have to pull this in my garage and see what happens as far as range loss. But overnight, I went from 300 miles. I lost 30 miles of range overnight, even though it was plugged in. That's going to be a problem. That's an interesting winter cold problem. Oh, and my Apple CarPlay just kicked on. So apparently it's on my phone. All right, let me come back. Oh, I didn't even need to come back. Look, you can already see it happening. You can already see this is breaking apart. So if I turn on my windshield wiper, yeah, done. Okay. So the timestamp on the video says about 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, the windshield's clearing up. I have hot air. The heated steering wheel is on. The heated seats are on. But I've lost range. I've lost quite a bit of range overnight, and I was plugged in all night. All right, welcome to my office. Decided to put the charger on the ground and use a space heater to warm it up. It's freezing cold, and we're gonna see if that makes a difference. I'm guessing this thing's gonna tell me that it got too cold last night. But let's warm it up, let's get all the snow and ice off of that, and let's see what happens. Now, I did reach out to GMC to ask what happened, and we had some back and forth, trying to get engineers involved, and basically we came up with the answer was, we don't know. It's a random fail. It's not something that should happen. That charging unit itself is rated for negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. It never got that cold overnight, so that should not have failed. So it should have worked, but it didn't work. This is basically what I got. Okay, so there you go. There's my frantic video where I kind of just, yeah, I was anxious. And sorry again for that video kind of quality. But a couple things to know is that I put my charger, my plug, which is my 220 volt plug, outside because I didn't know what kind of mobile charging units these other vehicles had or where the charge is going to be. As you know, you watch this channel, I get press loans, 7-day loans of vehicles all the time. Some EVs, the charger's in the front, some's in the back. So I never really know, so I put it outside. In hindsight, I probably should have put this plug in my garage. That way I hook up that mobile charging unit inside the garage, run it, and I can run the cord under a garage door, under the garage door up front as well, and plug it in that way. Hindsight 2020. But the problem with that sometimes is you never know whether the charger, again, can be in the front and the back. So the Lightning, the charger was in the front, the Hummer, the charger was in the back. You can move things around and park indifferently if you can fit those vehicles in the parking garages. So neither one of those trucks fit in my parking garage. My garage is too small. So something to keep in mind is you have to make sure that you're going to have a way to plug these in and keep them plugged in overnight when it's cold and have the plug where it doesn't freeze up. As you saw in the other video, Jill tried to do this, or she actually wrote a story about this, where the Ford F-150 Lightning gave her an error message saying, hey, it's too cold, plug it in. But she lives in a city, and she doesn't have a way to plug that truck in when she's in the city. So we've seen some challenges with that. Now, I will say that GMC Hummer, when I drove it in the cold temperatures, like you saw in that video, it did pretty well, and I lost like 6 to 12% range. I want to say as well, we're seeing a lot of stories come out Ford Lightning. To be fair, Ford Lightning seeing half range, 320 mile extended range is now 150. So we're seeing a lot of challenges with EVs, as we should. It's new technology, and this is the first time we've ever really had them in the cold as far as a truck unit in the cold. And so we're seeing some challenges. So just a couple things to keep in mind. If you can park it in the garage, park it in the garage. You can keep it plugged in, level 2 charger. With a mobile unit, keep that plugged in level 2 charger. Just make sure the charger is in a warm spot. If I get this outside, I may take a box and build an insulated box out here to keep it warm as well. Might be an idea too. But those are things you kind of need to keep in mind as far as EVs go in the wintertime. Things change. Not so rosy. That's why diesel trucks have plugs. That's why my 62 has a plug heater, engine block heater. Things get cold and not everything works as well as you want it to. That's the PSA message for today. Check the videos over here, website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.